do now is we're going to go ahead and start grammar. So what I want you to do, I have a video that we're going to watch first, but before I put that video on, go ahead and get out your one subject notebook that says grammar on the front. Or Carla, get out one of your one subject notebooks, the one that you have not used yet. Yes, Smith.
I don't have it.
Okay, so
right
just use another piece of paper and then you can copy it into it later.
Okay.
Or staple it or whatever. So Carla, get out the one subject notebook. Make sure that's not the one that you used for religion on Friday. Thank you, Zari. Got it. Perfect, Carla. Okay, and then also, go ahead and get out the sheet that looks like this if you're at home. We don't need it just yet, but just make sure you have it nearby. Everybody here, I will pass it out later. Okay, so leave your grammar notebooks closed. I just wanted you to have them out. Yes, Carla. Oh, make sure to unmute yourself.
You will not see, but I have them.
Awesome. Good.
I'm kind of going into my virtual background.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so everybody should have their, so Carla, go ahead and mute yourself. Have your grammar notebooks out, but they should not be, I see some, but they should not be open yet. Because I don't want you distracted by your notebook while we're watching the video. Okay, Zadie, go ahead and turn the lights off. This video does tell you to, to write things, but don't worry about writing anything yet, okay? We'll do that after. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play the video. And let's see, let me make sure the sound and everything is on.
Hello, everybody. This is your teacher. I wanted to speak with you today about a grammar problem I've been seeing. Please make sure to follow the note-taking guide in this video and make sure you pause and rewind as needed.
So don't worry about writing.
Do you know what a fragment is? Take a moment to jot down your ideas about fragments.
Just think about
I'll give
it.
you some time. Okay, now that you've written your ideas, let me fill you in on what a fragment is, and you can see if you were correct or incorrect. To really understand a fragment, we must actually first talk about what a sentence is and means. A sentence is a group of words that express a complete thought. A sentence needs a subject that tells you who or what the sentence is about, a verb which expresses action, tells you what the subject does, or links the subject to other important words, and it needs a statement of complete thought. Quick note, sometimes you may have more than one subject and or more than one verb in a sentence. Here's an example of a complete sentence. The students are bored. Oh, are you? That's a bummer. Anyway, the students is the subject. Are bored is the verb. And it expresses a complete thought. Now let's talk about fragments. Here goes. A fragment is an incomplete sentence. It might be missing a verb, it might be missing a subject, or it can have a subject and verb but does not express a complete thought. Here's an example. Should have gone to the movies. This is a fragment, it's missing a subject. The amazed family. This is also a fragment and it's missing a verb. Jorge enjoys. Now that's definitely a fragment. It doesn't have a complete thought. Even though it has a subject and a verb, Jorge enjoys doesn't express much. Now, let's look at some common types of fragments. The first type of fragment is the dependent clause.
Listen to this, and we're not going to talk about this for a little while.
Word in the beginning of a sentence. Some common dependent words include after, as, because, before, even if, since, when, unless, and while. Here's an example of a dependent clause. after Christina saw the accident. We fix this by either removing the dependent word, like this, Christina saw the accident, or by completing the thought, like this, after Christina saw the accident, she fainted. Another common fragment error is when we forget to add the subject. These fragments have a verb, but are missing a subject. For example, finished all her homework. To fix this, all we need to do is add a subject. Maria finished all her homework. Good job, Maria. The next common fragment error is called ing fragments. This is when we use a word ending in ing at the beginning of a sentence, causing it to become a fragment. For example, hoping to finish on time. How do we fix them? Well, we add our subject, Mari Carmen, a linking verb, was, and the rest, hoping to finish on time.
Make sure you're paying
There are
attention.
also fragment errors called to fragments. This is when a word group begins with the word to. Example, to the park. How should we fix it? Caesar took his dog to the park. Finally, the last fragment error is called an example fragment. It happens when using words like including, such as, and for example. Here's an example, such as pizza. To fix this, we need to add a subject and complete the thought. German likes to cook his favorite foods, such as pizza, when he is at home. Just to refresh your memory, a sentence must include a subject, verb, and a complete thought. Let's practice. For each practice question, identify if the group of words is a sentence or fragment.
You're not
If the
going to write
group
it.
of words is a fragment, please explain what is missing and fix it.
So that video was just an introduction into what we're going to be doing today. So go ahead and open to the first clean page in your grammar notebook, because we don't have a textbook for this. So this means you copy what I write on the board. Hopefully, girls at home, you'll be able to see well enough to read what it says. Those of you at school need to be following along. So, start with the title of these notes. So in the top, the big empty part of your page, we're going to write the title. And the title of these notes is Sentences and Fragments. So you're going to write the title of today's notes and then today's date. August 17th, 2020. Yes, sorry.
I supposed to write this in our subject note.
Yes, the one that says grammar in the front. At the top, in the big empty space, you're writing sentences and fragments. And then today's date.
Miss Wallace, I can't really see it. The light's hitting.
Yeah. And I don't know. Unfortunately, it looks like just try your best. But that should be the only place where it really matters. And all it says is sentences and fragments. So what we're going to talk about today is just what is a sentence, what is a fragment. Well, first of all, we know, or I'm sorry, a sentence. What is a sentence? Anything I write on the board, you also write on the in your book, in your notebook, the same way. So a sentence. A sentence is a group of words. So a group of words that expresses a complete thought. So a sentence is a group of words that has a complete thought, or that expresses a complete thought. So a sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. They begin with a capital letter. You're just going to have to do your best, okay? They begin with a capital letter. And they end with a period. An exclamation point. Or a question mark. So they end with they begin with a capital letter. They end with a period, an exclamation point, or a question mark. They cannot end with more than one of those things. They can only end with one. When you're done writing that, put your pencil down and look up. Yes, Victoria? No, I want you to write the whole word and the symbol. Remember, everything I write up here, unless I say don't write this, you write. The only time you will not write it is if I say don't write this. If I say nothing, that means write it. Thank you, Smith. Can you girls at home see well enough for now? Okay. Cool. I know the glare's in the way. I don't know how or if we'll be able to fix that, because even with the brand new camera, the glare will still be there. So hopefully I can figure out how to get it high enough that maybe that won't be a problem. Okay. This is where don't write, just watch. Went to the movies. That is not a complete sentence. It has a capital letter and a period at the end, but just because you capitalize the first letter and put a period at the end does not make it a complete sentence. Does this express a complete thought? Went to the movies. Is that a complete thought? What's missing? What is missing from this sentence? What information is missing? Smith? I or who? We don't know the who. We don't know the who. Who went to the movies? Well, we have to add a subject. So, that's where the rest of the information comes in. Also, for those of you on notice this. Remember on religion when I said make sure that you have complete sentences, make sure you have a capital letter at the beginning and a period at the end, and then there was the thing called which prayer. It tells what we believe as Catholics, and some of you did this. It's supposed to be capitalized, but I don't want to confuse you, so I'm going to lowercase the prayer. Is that a complete sentence? The Apostles' Creed. Is that a complete sentence? No. It has a capital and end punctuation, but it's not a complete sentence. Our sentence before was missing the who. What is this fragment missing? Victoria? The verb, the what. Our sentence before went to the movies was missing the who. This sentence is missing the what. What about the Apostles' Creed? The Apostles' Creed is the prayer that tells what we believe. So, that brings us to the next part that was in that video. Not only does a sentence begin with a capital letter and end with end punctuation means period, exclamation point, or question mark, but also, this is where you are going to start writing, it has a subject, which is who or what the sentence is about. So they have a subject, which is who or what the sentence is about. Zadie, did you write this? Focus. Thank you, Smith. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Zach. Make sure to write quickly but neatly. Okay? And the fourth thing that every sentence needs is that it has a predicate. Predicate is a fancy word for the action that is happening, or the verb. The action that is happening is the same thing as the verb, which is the same thing as the predicate. And we'll talk more about subjects and predicates next week. So there are 4 things that every complete sentence must have. A capital letter at the beginning, end punctuation at the end, a subject, which is who or what the sentence is about, and a predicate, which is the action that is happening. Ethan, you're going to have to wear the other one, okay? I know it's uncomfortable, but try to ignore it, okay? For now. But when we leave the room, you have to put the other one on, okay? Like when we leave for the day, or if you go to the restroom or something, you have to put it on. Okay, so now I'm going to write an example that you will write. For example, I walked to my best friend's house. I walked to my best friend's house. So make sure you do write that. Example, I walked to my best friend's house. And then when you're done, we'll talk about what each part is. Girls at home, if you have your thumb up and I look at the screen at you guys and go and say, that means you're good. So I walked to my best friend's house. Let's do a checklist. Do we have the capital at the beginning? Do we have it? Do we have end punctuation? Yes. Do we have a subject? Who or what this sentence is about? Who or what is this sentence about? Actually, I'm going to pick sticks. Cullen? Who or what is this sentence about?
My best friend.
Is my best friend the one doing the action? I am doing something. Good. And it has a predicate or the action that's happening. What is the action in this sentence? Victoria? Walked. Walked. Then we also have some extra information, but even if I said I walked, that's a complete sentence because it has a who and a what. I walked. It may not be as detailed as we want it to be, but it is a complete sentence. Very good. Okay, I'm going to erase this. If I'm erasing something, obviously, I shouldn't have to say this, but this has happened in the past. Don't erase it from your notebook. I just don't have as much room as you. Very good. Is everybody with us so far? What 4 things does a complete sentence need? Michaela, tell us one thing. A subject. Very good. What is the subject? You can look at your notes. Well, what is a subject of any sentence? What does it say next to that it has a subject? No, what does it say right next to it? Look at your checklist and where it said has a subject. What does it say in parentheses right next to it? Has a subject. What does it say right after? Who or what the sentence is about. Is about doesn't say anything. Who or what the sentence is about. Good. So we have a subject. What's one other thing? Smith. We have subject. We need 4 things. What's another thing all complete sentences need?
A beginning with a capital letter.
A capital letter at the beginning. Very good. Ethan, what's another thing all sentences have to have? You can look at your notes. We have subject, and we have a capital letter at the beginning. I can't hear you. End punctuation. Does it always have to be a period? What 3 things could it be? It could be either a period or a question mark or a look at your notes. You have a period, you said a question mark, there's one other thing it could be. An exclamation point. Very good. And Carla, what is the last thing all sentences must have? We have subject, we have capital at the beginning, we have end punctuation, and what's the 4th thing that a sentence must have? Don't forget to unmute yourself. There's one last thing. Don't forget to, Carla, unmute yourself. So we have, let's see, who was the first person?
I was.
Who was it? Oh, Michaela told us a subject. Smith told us a capital letter at the beginning. Ethan told us punctuation at the end. So what's that last thing? You can look at your notes.
A predicate.
A predicate. And what is a predicate?
What somebody is doing.
What happened in the sentence. Very good. You can go ahead and mute yourself again. Good. So now that was a complete sentence. If a sentence is not complete, so you should be writing, it is called a sentence fragment. Sometimes we shorten that term to just fragment. Stop messing with that, Victoria. Sometimes we call it, the full word is a sentence fragment, but sometimes we call it just a fragment. It means the same thing. And a sentence fragment is a group of words that does not, underline does not, express a complete thought. So a sentence fragment is a group of words that does not express a complete thought. Now for a sentence fragment, one or more, that means only one of these four things, or two or three, or all of these four things is happening. So either it is missing a capital letter, for example, make sure you do write this. I walked to the movies, but the I is lowercase, so it could be missing a capital letter at the beginning. This expresses a complete thought, but it's missing that capital letter. So it is becoming fragment. Can you see better there, Kingston? Yeah, you'll just do your best, okay? Or it could be missing end punctuation. So it could be missing end punctuation. For example, I, capital I, walked to the movies with no period at the end. Yes, Colin. You do write the examples. Because when you're going back and you're trying to figure out, it is helpful to have examples, but make sure you capitalize the I, take off the punctuation at the end. You sorry? It could be missing, and I'll give you time at the end, missing a subject. For example, walked to the movies. Well, there's no subject, there's no who. Yes, do use the back. If you run out of space on the front, use the backs. Otherwise, you will run out of space. Or it could be missing a predicate. For example, to the movies. It is missing an action. It's also missing a who. So it's missing both a subject and a predicate. We do have more to write, but not for a minute. You guys you'll be doing a lot of writing this year. So work those hand muscles. To the movies is missing both a who and a what. So it's missing both the subject and a predicate. Well, what about to the movies and who is going to the movies? When you're done, just put your pencil down and look up here. Yes, Colin.
I put an arrow so you know I'm on the back.
Yep, that's however you want to tell yourself, give yourself a note to go to the next page. Go ahead. So, that means if there is a question and it says, what did the two girls do in the movie? Or, I'm sorry, what did the two girls in the story do on Tuesday? And I say write in complete sentences, and you write, went to the park. Are you going to lose points? Did you write a complete sentence? If the question says, what did the two girls in the story do on Tuesday? And your answer is, went to the park. Even if you capitalize the first letter and you put in punctuation, did you write a complete sentence? What is went to the park missing? Zari?
it's missing
Went to the park. What is that
a
missing?
who or what.
A who or a what, otherwise known as the
Fragment.
no. What is that? What is the who or the what? Look at your notes and look at what it says next to the who or the what. What is that part of the sentence called?
Subject.
The subject. Good. Very good. Okay. Let's see. Now we're going to go ahead and erase because we're going to talk about two types of sentences. There are several different types of sentences. There are 4 that we're going to talk about. We're only going to talk about 2 today. We'll talk about the other 2 on Wednesday. So, Victoria, did you have a question? Or were you wanting to answer the question? Okay. Okay, so there are 2 types of sentences that we're going to talk about today. There's 4 types of sentences, but we're only going to talk about 2 today. So, the first type, how did I do this? Have I been using dots at the beginning? I've been
No.
using dots at the beginning. So the first type of sentence that we're going to talk about is a statement. A statement. Make sure you're writing this. A statement. A statement is a sentence that tells something. So if you make a statement, you are telling somebody something. For example, and do write this, I like food. You are telling somebody a fact. I like food. You can say, my name is Miss Folis. That is a statement. You're telling somebody a fact. Statements end with a period. Every time a statement will end with a period. Like, I like food, period. This sentence, statements end with a period, is a statement. I'm telling you something. It's a fact. Okay, when you're done with that, we'll talk about the second type, and then we'll move on to the guided practice. The next type of sentence that we're going to talk about is a question. And a question is a sentence that asks something. So a question is a sentence that asks something. For example, do you like food? Questions end with a question mark. So questions are sentences that ask something, and they always end with a question mark. Do you like food? That question mark tells the reader that their voice goes up at the end of the sentence because they're asking a question. When you're done with that, go ahead and put your pencil down and look up at me. Get used to it, girl. Stretch your hand out because you have a minute before you have to write anything else. Don't crack your knuckles though. It's not really good for them. Try not to. Sometimes it happens on accident, but. Okay, so we know that statements tell something and they end with a period. They are sentences because here we have a capital letter and end punctuation. We have a subject, the who or the what, I, and what they're doing. Like, they like something. In do you like food? We know it's a complete sentence because we have a capital letter at the beginning and end punctuation at the end. We have a who or the what. The sentence is about you. I'm asking you the question, so you are the subject. And we have a what. What are you doing? Well, I'm asking you if you like something. So any questions on complete sentences or fragments or statements or questions? Okay, so what we're going to do now is the guided practice. So I will pass out, those of you at home, it's the sheet that has the little bag of tuna fish at the bottom. So go ahead and get that one out. Everybody else here, I will pass it. So now we're going to go ahead and start the guided practice. Guided practices are things that we do together. They do not get turned in. So those of you at school, you will not turn this in. It will go into your the grammar side of your Writer's Workshop folder. Same with you guys at home. Guided practice does not need to be scanned and emailed to me. Does everybody at home understand? So you do not need to scan or email this to me. Because we're doing it together. Yes, I'm sorry?
Your parents don't believe you.
Yeah. They I told them in the email. So anything that is guided practice, we're doing it together. So that means I know you have the right answer because you're following along. I don't need to check it. Independent practice and homework is what will always be sent back to me. So this is guided practice. This is where we do it together. I do some, you do some. I write it on the board, you make sure you have the same thing. So before we do anything, these boxes above the directions on any sheet, a lot of you guys ignore them. I don't know why, because you're really just hurting yourself because it has so much good information. So what we're going to do before we start is we are going to read what it says in the box, okay? Each of these are called bullet points. These little dots with a sentence after, those are bullet points. So if I say, so-and-so, read the first bullet point, you are only going to read that first one. You won't read any of the others. Does everybody understand how to read the bullet points? Okay. Those of you at home, it may be hard to see up here, but you do have it right in front of you. Okay, so go ahead and read the first bullet point. Aaron.
A sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought.
Good. So that tells us, okay, when we're looking for sentences, we're going to look for something that expresses a complete thought. Read the next bullet point. Kingston.
A sentence fragment is a group of words that does not express a complete thought.
Good. So if we get to one of these and we're like, there's something missing, the who is missing, the what is missing, something is missing, we'll know it's a sentence fragment. Read the third bullet point. Victoria.
A statement is a sentence that tells something.
Good. So So a sentence is not asking a statement is not asking anything. It's not telling someone to do something. It's not saying something exciting. It's just telling a fact. Good. Read, everybody's back in the cup. Read the fourth bullet point. Cullen.
A question is a sentence that asks something.
Good. So if you're asking something, it's a question. And read the last bullet point, Zari. Oh, make sure to unmute yourself.
All sentences begin with a capital letter and end with a period or a question mark.
Thank you very much. Okay, so now that we've read those little reminders, wouldn't that be super helpful if it was on your homework or something and you read that? What if you ignored that and then you got down here and you're like, well, those are always helpful. Okay, eyes and ears on me. Now we're going to do this together. First, let's read the instructions. Write sentence, question, or fragment for each group of words. So that means first we have to read the words, then we have to decide. First of all, is it a fragment? Does it not express a complete thought? If it doesn't, we're just going to write fragment. Once we've said, okay, it expresses a complete thought. Hold on, Carla, listen, and then we'll come back to you, okay? Same with you, Zari. Once we have figured out that it's not a fragment, it does express a complete thought, well, then we're going to figure out, is it a statement? Is it telling us a fact, or is it telling us something? Or is it a question? Is it asking something? And yours actually says write statement, question, or fragment, not sentence, sorry. Because we need to know, is that sentence a statement or is it a question? Or is that group of words a fragment? It is not a sentence. It does not express a complete thought. Carlin, sorry, is that what you were going to tell me? Okay, cool. Then, the second part of the instructions is write each group of words as a sentence with the correct punctuation. So that means first we decide, is it a statement, is it a question, or a fragment? Then we rewrite the whole group of words with correct capitalization and punctuation. If it is a fragment, do we need to capitalize and put end punctuation? Do we? Kingston? No, because it's already a fragment. And remember, just because we put a capital at the beginning and end punctuation is at the end, does that mean that it is a sentence? No. Because if it's missing a subject or a predicate, there is no point putting capital at the beginning or end punctuation at the end, because it's still not a sentence. So the only ones where we correct this capitalization and punctuation is if it is a statement or a question. So, number 1, the cat feeds her kittens. Zadie, is that a complete thought?
No.
It's not? What's missing? Is there anything missing?
No.
So what does that mean?
Mm-mm.
It is a complete thought. So that means, can it be a fragment? If it's a complete thought, can it be a fragment? No. So now we have to figure out, is it a statement or a question? So is this asking or is it telling? Zadie.
It's telling.
It's telling. So that means, is it a statement or a question?
It's a statement.
Statement. So the first thing we're going to write is statement, because it is a complete sentence and it is telling somebody. Then we're going to put a colon. So those of you at home, you should be doing this too. Then we're going to be putting a colon because now we have to fix the sentence because it's missing something. Zadie, we already decided it's a complete thought. So it's not missing a subject or a predicate. But what is it missing? It's on your paper too. You don't have to look up here because it's on your paper. What is it missing? What do the second part of the directions tell us to do?
It's missing punctuation.
What else is it missing? It's missing punctuation and
A capitalized letter.
a capital letter. So, which letter am I going to capitalize? That's what I start with, right?
The first letter.
The very first letter. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish writing the sentence. The cat feeds her kittens. Make sure, try to write small so that you can fit all of this on there. And now, Zadie, I need end punctuation. This is a statement. What end punctuation, what do statements end with? You can look back at your notes.
A period.
A period. So make sure you have statement, because that answers the first part of the question. Is it a statement, question, or fragment? And then make sure that you have the cat feeds her kittens with a capital T at the beginning and a period at the end. That answers this second part of the question. So does everybody understand how we're going to do the rest of this page? You need to tell me, is it a fragment or is it complete? If it's complete, is it a statement or a question? What do we need to put at the beginning? What do we need to put at the end? Okay, number 2 is very hungry today. Victoria, does that express a complete thought?
No.
What is it missing? Or it's missing the, what part of the sentence is it missing? Aaron? Who? We don't know who. So what does that mean? Is it a statement, question, or fragment? It's a fragment. It is a fragment. Now we don't have to write anything else, but Victoria, how could we fix that sentence? We'd have to add a who.
We would have to
Somebody who's doing it. So what? So fix the sentence. Add a subject. Add a who. Can it be I? Can you say I is very hungry today? Well, but we have is, so we have to keep is. Who is very hungry today? Miss Follis is very hungry today. Good. We could fix it that way, but we don't have to. Okay, Carla, your background, I can't really see you because your background is kind of covering your face today. Number 3, his lunch bag is missing. Kingston, is that a complete thought? Is it missing something? What is it missing?
Well, a subject.
It is?
No,
Who or what is the sentence about? The lunch bag, right? So is it missing a subject? No. Is this a complete thought, Kingston? Yes, it is. It has a subject, his lunch bag. It has what happened to it, is missing. So, now we need to figure out, is this a statement or a question?
A question.
Is it asking something? What's it asking?
Is it? Question. That's a statement.
It's a statement. It is telling us, hey, his lunch bag is missing. Guys, you're guessing. You don't have to have an answer immediately. Think about it. His lunch bag is missing. Is that missing anything, or is it a complete thought? It is a complete thought. If somebody told you his lunch bag is missing, well, then you would know his lunch bag is missing. If somebody came to you and said, is very hungry today, you would have the question, who is very hungry today? So make sure that you're thinking before you immediately give me an answer, right? Don't just say, it's a fragment, or no, it's not a complete thought. Think about it. Is it a complete thought? So now, Kingston, we have to fix it. What do we have to fix first? We know it's a statement, but it's still not quite a complete sentence. What does it need first?
Capital letter.
Capital, which letter?
The A.
The H. So capital H, his lunch bag is missing. Okay, we're going to have to get better at this. This is annoying. Whatever. Okay, his lunch bag is missing. We know it's a statement. What does the statement end with? A period. Very good. Okay, number 4. Did you bring your lunch? Smith, is that a complete thought? Did you bring your lunch? Is that a complete thought?
Yes.
Yes. If somebody says, did you bring your lunch? Well, you know they're asking, did you bring your lunch? Is it a statement or a question?
It is a question.
It's a question. It's asking something. Now we need to fix it. What do we do first, Smith?
Add a question mark.
Is that what we do first? What's the very first thing we have to do? What does the first letter of every sentence have to be?
Capital.
Capital. So we have to take that first D and did, capitalize it. Did you bring your lunch? Now we know it's a question, so what goes at the end, Smith?
Question mark.
A question mark. Very good. Okay, we're going to go quickly because it's already almost time for science, but we're just going to... It said both because it depends on what part of the quarter it is. Okay, number 5. He ate a tuna fish sandwich. Ethan, is that a complete thought? He ate a tuna fish sandwich. Yes. We know who. We know what they did. Is it a question or a statement? That's a consequence. A statement, because it's telling something. Now, what do we have to do first to fix that sentence? We have to, what do we have to do to the very first letter? Can't hear you. The very first letter of a sentence has to be what? Capital. So capital H, he ate a tuna fish sandwich, and what punctuation do statements end with, Ethan? Louder, we can't hear you. A period, good. Okay, gotta go fast. Number 6, because he likes tuna fish. Aaron, is that a complete thought? No. It does have a subject and a predicate. He likes tuna fish, but that word because, well, what about? Because he likes tuna fish, what? So that means that number 6 is a what? Look at the directions for what you're trying to write. Guys, don't just stare at a problem. Go back to the directions, go back to the notes, go back to what it says at the top and see if that will help you. So what do we have to write? Do we? What do we write when it's not a complete thought? Fragment. Do we correct it by capitalizing and putting end punctuation if it's a fragment? No, because that still won't make it a sentence. Number 7. What else do you think he likes? Carla? Is that a complete thought? Don't forget to unmute yourself. Carla, don't forget to unmute yourself.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Is it a statement or a question?
It's a question.
It's a question. If somebody comes up to you and says, what else do you think he likes? Well, then you know, okay, they're asking you a question. What do you think that whoever he is likes? Now, how do we fix it, Carla? What do we need to do first?
We need to capitalize the W in what?
Okay, and then what do we put at the end?
A question mark.
A question mark. Very good. So, we capitalize the W in what? What else do you think he likes? And then we put a question mark at the end. Very good. Last one. Number 8. The cat ate a worm. Michaela, is that a complete thought? No. Think about it. The cat ate a worm. Do you have any more questions? Or do you know who and you know what? Can't hear you. Is that a complete thought? Think about it. At first you said no. What's missing? I can't hear you. But we're not looking at that right now. We're just looking, because we know that capitals and end punctuation are missing because the directions tell us that. Is it a complete thought? A complete thought doesn't have anything to do with capitalization or punctuation. That only has to do, does it have a who, does it have a what? So is this a complete thought? Michaela, does it have a who? What's the who? Who did something in the sentence? The cat ate a worm. Who did something? The cat. What did the cat do? So is it a complete thought? I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Yes. Is it a statement or a question? It's a statement. Now what do we have to do first to fix it? Where? So capital T, the cat ate a worm. What punctuation do statements end with? A period. Okay, very good. Let's see. You do have independent practice to complete. So go ahead. I know we're supposed to start science, so girls at home, you're just going to stay on this one. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give you 10 minutes for now, and then you'll have more time later, probably. It is one-sided, so girls at home, you're getting out the sheet that has a frog on it. Or Smith, you don't have it, but I'll show it because you're going to do it on your own. So you can get off and go ahead and do it on your own for, well, just stay there. I don't know how to do this. Hold on one second. We'll figure it out. Say name, number, and date at the top. As soon as you get this paper, name, number, and date at the top. Are you going to turn in the piece of paper with tuna fish on it?
No.
No, that goes in your writer's workshop, but keep it for right now because you might need it to look back at. On this sheet, everybody look at the sheet with the frog on it. So Smith, it looks like this. What it tells you to do is if the group of words is a complete sentence, write the letter S on the line. You're just looking for thoughts. All of these have capital letter at the beginning and end punctuation at the end. But remember, just because it has capital letter at the beginning and end punctuation at the end, does that make it a complete sentence? No. I can just write the word lunch, and I can put a capital letter at the beginning and a period at the end. But does that really make any sense? No. So all of these, so you are not looking at capitalization or end punctuation because every single one has it. You are looking, is it a complete thought? Does it have a who and a what? Make sure it doesn't have a word like because or if or anything like that at the beginning. Because if it has because at the beginning, but never says because what, is that a complete thought? It's like number 6, because he likes tuna fish. Hold on, sorry. Well, it has a who and a what, he likes, but that because makes it an incomplete thought. So watch out for those. Okay, go ahead and do that. If it's a sentence, you write the letter S on the line. If it's a fragment, you write the letter F. If you finish in 10 minutes, if you were at school, turn it into the black tray with orange border that says